Hello everybody. If you have been following me or if this is your first time of you watching, I have been doing a 32 for 32 series that is 32 NFL team drafts for 32 straight days, and we're getting to the end. We're getting to the end, the nitty gritty. I've already done the North teams of the AFC, NFC. I've already done the East teams of the AFC, NFC. I've already done the West teams of the AFC, NFC. Right now, if you can tell by the title, I'm in the NFC South, and I'm doing the Carolina Panthers. Lastly will be the AFC South. The first video that should pop up will be the Tennessee Titans. But I am so happy that this is coming to an end. 32 straight days of just literally pumping out work. 33 technically, because it was a day I had to go to work on like a Saturday, and I couldn't put out a video, and you know, it was all situated. But I still put out another video to kind of make up for that video in particularly. But it has been a long process, and I have to say I appreciate anybody that would watch any of these videos. Like I said, this is huge. This is big, and I don't want to waste y'all time. So let's just get straight into it with the very first pick. The Carolina Panthers decided to draft Derrick Brown, defensive tackle, Auburn. Derrick Brown was a top 5 player in this draft for me. I will say I did have Javon Kinlaw as my number 1 defensive tackle, right? But this is the situation for me. It was the exact same situation as the Ndamukong Suh, Gerald McCoy situation, where, you know, Suh and McCoy were like 1A and 1B. It was like, who was the better player? Suh gave more an aggressive style of play. He was a pretty good run stuffer, and he was a solid pass rusher, right? While McCoy gave you a lot of quickness and pass rushing the inside, and he was a pretty solid, run defender. He wasn't great at it, but he was solid at it. And it was kind of, what would you like more? You know what I mean? Would you like the big aggressive guy that he's not a great pass rusher, he's an okay pass rusher, but he's definitely a great run stuffer? Or would you want a quicker guy, a smaller guy, but a quicker guy that gives you a little bit more pass rush, but is also still a stout against the run? And it's 1A, 1B. It's whoever it is. But anyway, with Derrick Brown, it reminded me of that situation because I felt as though Kinlaw was the more athletic, the more aggressive pass rushing type of player, while Derrick Brown, I thought actually Derrick Brown probably was more aggressive, but and one of the biggest things was that he was actual, like, a big-time playmaker in terms of fumbles and interceptions, which is kind of weird for a defensive tackle. This was a great pick by the Carolina Panthers. I applaud you guys. I applaud the GM, the coaching staff for getting this guy. I know that people were looking at, because Luke Kuechly retired, they were saying, well, what about Isaiah Simmons? And I think that they looked at it in a situation that says, you know what, let's build our defensive line first, and then we can worry about the linebackers and such and so forth. But I think that this was an amazing pick by the Carolina Panthers, and even though I didn't have him rated as my number 1 defensive tackle, I think that he is still a top defensive tackle. With the very second pick, the Carolina Panthers decided to select Yetur Gross-Matos, defensive end, Penn State. Very typical 4-3 defensive end, strong side defensive end. Just looking at my notes, he was a very strong at that point of the attack. He can rush from the inside. I think that probably his best attribute is to, on third downs, is to go on the inside and be a 3 technique. Which is a defensive tackle in a 4-3, just like a Derrick Brown would be. Derrick Brown could also play 1 technique, which is like kind of a nose tackle in a 3-4, right in the middle over the center. But overall, I thought with my toast. I thought he was a very, very solid player. I didn't think he was a great player. And I like the fact that he did get drafted in the second round, because with people having him rated in the first round, it was kind of weird because I didn't have a first round grade on. I didn't think that Yatur was one of the top pass rushers in this draft. I mean, he was one of the top pass rushers, but I wouldn't think like a first round type of pass rusher. I would think, just a regular, regular solid defensive end that definitely plays on the strong side, not a weak side guy. He needs a lot of polishing. I think that, he shows solid hand technique, he shows good burst, he shows good strength, but he doesn't put it all together. Not at the same time consistently. And I think that, what the Panthers are trying to build, this is a good situation for them to have. With the very third pick, another pick that they had in the second round, they decided to select Jeremy Chin, safety from, I'm trying to remember what school this guy, Southern Illinois. I'm sorry. I almost forgot what school he went to. Plays fast, solid open field tackler, loves attacking the line of scrimmage, and he seems like a good, solid, strong safety in a free safety body. I didn't think, to me, he looked like a free safety in terms of just size, but it may have been because of his height, and his height being linked with his body, of that it's kind of long. So if he was maybe 2 or 3 inches shorter, he would look a little bit more probably thicker if it was at the same weight. But I think that with Jeremy Chin, what he brings is this extra aggressiveness at the strong safety position that is almost similar, because even in his cover skills is pretty very eerily similar to a guy like Eric Reed, in terms of just the way how both guys play. And I think that they're probably in a situation where they feel as though, hey, Jeremy Chin, if he's like Eric Reed, maybe we can get an Eric Reed type of player. For not only being cheaper, but without the headache of the extra stuff that, Eric Reed will bring to the table with the everything that was going on with him. Even though we can support him, even if you support him or don't support him, it is what it is. It's just that it's still extra stuff when it comes down to it. But I think that this was a pretty solid pick, and I think that this was a message to the team that we're going to go in a different direction, but we're also going to be in a situation where we're going to be able to replace players with players that we feel as though are similar and that can still help this team out, but be better for not just on the field, but even in the locker room. With the very next pick in the fourth round, they decided to select Tony Pratt Jr., cornerback from Notre Dame. Lacks aggressiveness. There was times where it just seemed like he didn't want to tackle. It was kind of weird. I was expecting to see better and more from him. Should only be in a zone scheme. That was the only other note I had for him. Definitely not a man-to-man type of guy. More of a zone corner. Likes to kind of face the quarterback. I think that works in his favor a lot. But we'll see how his career turns out. Because I'm not sure if with his lack of aggressiveness, I'm not sure if he will be a great corner or just not even just a solid corner in this league. But I believe that the Panthers do have good starting corners already. So this is just a situation where with Tony Pratt Jr., it's just and not to say it's a whatever pick, but it's a situation where maybe he just fits what they want to run. But I have to question his aggressiveness as a player. With the next pick, in the fifth round, they decided to select Kenny Robinson Jr., free safety from XFL St. Louis Battlehawks / West Virginia, 2 years ago, West Virginia, whatever they're, Mountaineers. Playmaker. Ball hawk. Good in run support. Now, the only things that are kind of bad sometimes was that he missed an occasional tackle. It happens. it happens especially when the guy, like literally nobody touches him until the safety tries to get to him. Like when you have those type of situations where they just run through the hole, not a defensive lineman nor linebacker touched them. Come on now. It's kind of like you leave your safety on an island and they're not going to make the tackle all the time. So it is what it is. He's a gambler, which can cause him to make a bad read or two. There was the situations where he should have went one spot and he didn't, and it caused for a big play to happen. But it's one of those things is that with him being a gambler, you're going to get that anyway. I don't think that there is a bad thing about him and how the way he plays. And the greatest thing that I thought about him was that the way he played in college is the way he played in the XFL, which he was then playing against what was at one time NFL talent. So it gives you a better overall, how can I say this? It gives you a better overall analysis of him as a player to actually see him playing against NFL talent. And the last thing was that he's definitely just a straight up all around safety. I really, really do like this pick, free safety. If you pair him with a guy like Jeremy Chin, it should be a formidable safety core, just like I will get to that next pick of what they have. Pairing that guy with a Derek Brown, but also Jared McCoy that I believe is with the team as well. So let's just get to that next pick. Bravion Roy, Matt Rule's Baylor guy, defensive tackle, Baylor, nose tackle, space eating, gap shooting, big nose tackle that takes on double teams. I mean, it's just as simple as that. He's just in a situation where he's going to be your big time, just straight up nose guy. He's going to be the guy that they put out there on the goal line, the guy that they put out there, first and second down if they feel as though he's ready. To be that defensive tackle to be able to just stop the run or just take up blocks. He doesn't have to be a great pass rusher. He's a gap shooter type of guy, but he doesn't have to be a great pass rusher. He just has to be able to take on blocks because he is a really, really big guy. So it's just something where, Matt Rule knows what he wants for his team and he knows what he's doing. And it's a solid pick. It's somebody that, like I said, you can pair with a Derek Brown and you have a formidable run stuffing core that could be like pretty huge. So, and then with the very last pick, they decided to select Stanley Thomas Oliver, cornerback from FIU, Florida Atlantic, or FIU is one of the two. Long, aggressive, quick-footed, zone-based corner. And just like what I said about Tony Pride Jr. earlier, a zone type of corner, this is another pairing where you have, not only do you picked up a free safety, strong safety pairing, you picked up two defensive tackle pairing, now you picked up a two cornerback pairing. So this is another situation where they're trying to build something. And I actually think that Thomas Oliver is a little bit of a better player than Tony Pride Jr. So it's kind of a weird thing to think about him being a 7th round pick, but I think he's actually a better player. But anyway, that was the last player in the Carolina Panthers 2020 draft. I thank anybody for watching. If you want to know about any future videos or past videos, look in the description box below. Please, if you like this video, please hit that like button. Please share, and please hit that subscribe. Also, hit that notification bell to make sure you get all notifications from me, Mawai, Draft Raw. Once again, my name is Draft Raw. I thank anybody for watching. Goodbye.